The business statement from the Leader of the House.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I do not wish to detain the House longer than necessary, but if you will indulge me, I just want to pay a brief tribute to my predecessor, my right honourable friend, the member for Sherwood. He is a great champion for this place, a great champion for backbench members in particular, and he took his responsibilities as Parliament's representative in government very seriously. He was also rather good for morale as well, and I hope all members will join me in thanking him for his service. Madam Deputy Speaker, I should like to make a short business statement. The business for tomorrow, Thursday the 8th of September, will now be a general debate on UK energy costs, followed by consideration of an allocation of time motion, followed by all stages of the Social Security Special Rules for End-of-Life Bill Lords. I shall make a further business statement tomorrow in the usual way.
Daniel Debonair, Shadow Leader of the House.
Madam Deputy Speaker, and may I first of all welcome the new Leader of the House very warmly to her new role, but also join her in tributes to the Right Honourable Member for Sherwood. This is one of those unusual roles where the opposite numbers actually have to work together quite closely on a number of House issues. So I look forward to working with her on them, but I also pay tribute and put on record my thanks to the Right Honourable Member who I enjoyed working with. So, whilst I'm very much looking forward to hearing the details of this widely trailed energy plan, can I ask the Leader why the Prime Minister seems to be swerving scrutiny by not making a ministerial statement where she would have had to have put forward that statement to her opposite number 45 minutes in advance and face members' questions and answer them directly? Could the Leader of the House ask the Prime Minister to consider making a statement so that that can be offered to members? Because shadow ministers also can't be expected to properly scrutinise what will be very significant policy changes if they haven't had a chance to read it in advance. So what briefings, if any, will members or shadow ministers receive in advance of this very significant announcement, which they would have been with a ministerial statement? Members, reading speculation about what might or might not be announced in the media isn't good enough, and Mr Speaker did sort of ask the new Prime Minister, I think quite firmly this morning, if she would make sure that statements are always made here rather than being briefed to the House first. And I'm getting nods from the Deputy Leader of the House there, quite right. So we agree on this. Could the Leader therefore remind the Prime Minister of what the Speaker said to her today? Madam Deputy Speaker, finally, Labour has been calling on the government for action on energy bills for months. I asked for a recall in August so that we could pass this legislation as soon as possible, adopting Labour's plan to freeze the energy price cap, but also make sure that the burden for paying for it fell on those big oil and gas companies through a windfall tax. The Prime Minister ruled that out this morning. Why is she asking working people to pay the price instead? Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Leader of the House.
Well, can I start by thanking her for her very kind remarks about my predecessor. It is absolutely right that this House has time to debate these critical issues. I know many colleagues will have been speaking to constituency businesses that they have, as well as ordinary constituents, to really understand the particular issues they're facing, but also what they think solutions should be to these extreme problems that the country is facing. I have, as she would expect, already raised the matter of getting information in a timely way for members with the lead department, which is BEIS. It's incredibly important that members are able to scrutinise the solutions in a timely way, as well as, I hope, raise concerns and the matters that their constituents have asked are pressed to the Prime Minister and the Chancellor. So that I have carried out, and I hope to provide further assurance on that as we continue. The issues that she raised with regard to the Prime Minister's commitment to ensuring that things are brought to this House, I think the Prime Minister in Prime Minister's questions just a short while ago reiterated her determination to do that. And I would also say that although this House has not been sitting across the summer, ministers have not been idle, and I would pay tribute to the former Chancellor in particular, working with colleagues to ensure that whichever candidate won the leadership contest, that they would have up-to-date information, given the volatility of the economy at the moment, to be able to make these decisions. And in the course of my duties, I will always do my best to ensure that information is given to this House in the correct manner.
Mark Harper.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Can I support what my right honourable friend said about her predecessor, both in his capacity as Leader of the House, but also his previous role as Government Chief Whip? And can I also take this opportunity to welcome her to this particular role, which I know she will hugely enjoy as a fantastic member of this House. It's a great privilege to be Leader of the House, and I know she'll do the job very well. Can I just follow up on one of the questions that the Shadow Leader asked? She didn't explicitly say, but I think she's indicating that this debate tomorrow is the vehicle for the government to announce its energy proposals. Assuming that's the case, members will obviously want to scrutinise it. So can I ask, for the, not just for the opposition, but for all members, can I ask the Minister, what information is going to be available to members? Because obviously if we're to take part in a debate, we obviously need to have the information. So what information is going to be made available, and when will it be available for members? Presumably it will have to be available, given it's a debate, before the commencement of the debate, not as would be usual for a statement after the Minister introducing the debate has sat down. But it would be helpful, I think, for the House if she could confirm that to us this afternoon.
I have raised these matters with the lead department. I think I'm expecting other members of the House to also place this on record. It is important that we get these things right. I think that the vehicle of a debate tomorrow has been particularly chosen to enable members of this House some time to be able to talk about their experiences that their constituents are going through and make further suggestions to the government and get certain things on record, as well as, obviously, there will be a minister responding to the debate. But clearly, if there are going to be announcements made, as much advance time about those proposals that we can give members of this House in the proper way is very important. And I just give all members of this House the assurance that we have made that case to BEIS.
SNP spokesperson Owen Thomas.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I'd also welcome the Right Honourable Lady to her place as Leader of the House, and pay my own tribute to her predecessor, the Right Honourable Member for Sherwood, both in his role as Leader, and probably more of my dealings were with him in his role as the former Chief Whip. I'd echo the comments of others in sort of making a plea for information to be available as quickly as possible, so members do have the opportunity to properly contribute to the debate tomorrow. But we would also just ask a simple question of, will it be the Prime Minister leading the debate tomorrow, or if not, who will actually be leading on the debate tomorrow?
House.
Subject to events, my understanding is that the Prime Minister will open and the new Secretary of State for BEIS will close the debate. And again, I thank him for his kind remarks.
Dame Maria Miller.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and can I warmly welcome my right honourable friend to her new position and the announcement of a debate on energy costs tomorrow. It's an important issue. But that debate will replace another debate, which was a backbenched business debate on the running of the House of Commons, a debate that was called for by the Administration Committee, including myself. Can my right honourable friend use her best officers to make sure that that debate is rescheduled for as soon as possible, notwithstanding that it's a backbench business debate and the timing of those things are a little beyond her control?
Leader of the House.
Yes, I apologise to members who are looking forward to taking part in that debate. I have spoken with the chairman of the Backbench Business Committee and the member in whose name the debate stood. Clearly, my part in this is to make sure that that committee has time on the floor of this House, and I have undertaken to ensure that time is allocated in good time for the committee to make a decision about what debates it wants to bring forward.
Alison McGovern.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I obviously welcome the Honourable Lady to her new role. I mean, it's no use crying over spilt milk, but all this is already slower than it should be when our constituents needed action over recess. Maybe it's me, Madam Deputy Speaker, being a bit thick, but I don't quite understand what decisions we're taking tomorrow. If we're having a general debate but we don't know what the policy is yet, so we don't know what we're generally debating. And that general debate will be, as I assume, on a neutral motion. What exactly is it that would be action that we are taking tomorrow?
Leader of the House.
The debate is an opportunity for all members of this House to raise their specific concerns. Many members will have been talking to their constituents about particular things that they would want to see. It is an opportunity for them to raise those issues tomorrow. Clearly, those opening and closing the debate will be putting forward measures that the government wants to bring forward. This will not be the only opportunity for the House to scrutinise those measures, but that is the purpose of the debate tomorrow.
To her new role and echo the words that she has said about her predecessor. I understand from my whip that the business of this week and the following week had been agreed with both leadership candidates during the summer break, and this week we have seen a lot of chopping and changing, which doesn't inspire confidence about where the government is going and the certainty of all of us here in this place what the agendas are. Can she assure us that under her leadership we will now see no more chopping and changing of the business of the House?
Well, what I would say, I'd say two things to the Honourable Lady. Firstly, I very much understand my role as your representative in government, and I will do everything in my power, and I hope members have confidence in how I've conducted myself prior to getting this role to work in a constructive, positive way and with all the courtesies that you would expect. But I also have a role in this government to ensure that Whitehall and ourselves in this place move at the speed that our constituents need us to do. And so I make no apology for bringing forward the debate tomorrow. I think it's important that members of this House are able to raise these important issues, and I will do everything I can to give as much notice to any changes to our legislative programme.
Stella Creasy.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Further to the comments, and I welcome the Minister to her new position, but she's just said that she wishes to be our representative in government. Can she therefore understand the frustration that many of us feel that the press is briefing that the business for Monday, the Bill of Rights, has been shelved? So could she do the House the courtesy of telling us whether this bill has been shelved, and if it's because the new Home Secretary said that the government needed to be honest for this legislation to do what it wanted to do, the government needed to commit to leaving the European Court of Human Rights. So is the legislation going to be brought back with us leaving the European Court of Rights? Yes or no?
I will be making a further business statement tomorrow in the usual way. I would ask members to recognise that we are in very volatile times. Economically, there are going to be things that we need to do swiftly. Members have been asking for things to happen swiftly on these matters, and we will do that. But tomorrow, I will make a business statement in the usual way, and I will answer these questions, but very understandable questions that honourable members wish to raise.
Nick Smith.
Madam Deputy Speaker, this isn't good enough. The country deserves better. The government's energy plan is said to involve £100 billion plus of expenditure. It's going to involve some very complex arrangements. A general debate is good, but when are we going to see the economic event that the government's been promising for a while now? The country really needs to get a grip of the government's energy and plans now.
Well, as I said in a previous answer, there has been a lot of work going on throughout the summer in Whitehall, but also with energy companies and other stakeholders. Proposals are very advanced. Those will be brought to this House tomorrow, as you would expect, but we feel it's very important to give all members of this House the ability to raise issues that their constituents have raised with them, and we felt it was very important to give members of this House that time to be able to do that. But it will not be the only moment for this House to scrutinise policies that are being brought forward, both on these specific issues on cost of living and on business costs, but also the wider programme related to growth.
Lloyd Russell-Moyle.
I welcome the Leader of the House to her place. I think she's been very competent in previous roles, and so I look forward to that level of competency going forward. But one of the key aspects to that is that we get to see on the publication of the agenda tonight the content of what we will be debating. That's what we would expect if it were any other form of bill or legislative process or debate. A general debate is what we can get via Backbench Business Committee. We can get that via an opposition day debate. We need something more concrete. Our constituents need concrete things that I can go tomorrow morning to my constituents and tell them this is what we are doing to help you. My constituents do not want to hear me just talking. They want action.
Well, I would reiterate, we've made that very clear to the lead department. Again, this is a debate to give all members of this House a chance to contribute, to help shape and raise issues that they are and their constituents are concerned with. It will also not be the only opportunity that members of this House get to help shape that legislation.
Jim Shannon.
Madam Deputy Speaker, can I also on behalf of my party welcome the Honourable Lady, Right Honourable Lady, to the position as Leader of the House, and look very much forward to her contribution here. The Leader of the House will be aware that the Chancellor visited Northern Ireland in the last month, and that was to get the process in place for the monies that were coming through to each and every household across Northern Ireland. Decisions were made with the Chancellor and with the Minister for the Northern Ireland Assembly. The Leader of the House will know that the Northern Ireland Assembly is not meeting. And with that in mind, I'm wondering whether tomorrow we'll give an indication from the Prime Minister or from the Minister responsible tomorrow, which would indicate how Northern Ireland's households will be allocated the money, and that would be helpful for us at this process, ever mindful that the Assembly is not working and the Northern Ireland Protocol Bill is very much part of our thoughts. Thank you.
The House.
Well, I thank the right honourable gentleman for his very kind remarks and understand that we'll be spending a lot of quality time together. That is his reputation. I can assure him that the proposals that will be brought forward will be UK-wide.
I thank the Leader of the House for her first business statement. Point of order, Lloyd Russell-Moyle.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Yesterday, all members of the House received an email from the Home Office. It said that in future, the Home Office, in the majority of instances, will be responding to our letters and correspondence by telephone to provide responses, and where this is not possible, you will receive responses to multiple inquiries in a single letter. Madam Deputy Speaker, I have grave concerns about this, both from a GDPR point of view. How can I respond to a constituent with a letter that has numerous constituents raised on it? And secondly, I have a concern about the Home Office not then responding apart from orally, where we can't then record what has been said on the telephone. Could you, in your good offices, advise me whether this is an appropriate response from the Home Office?
Well, I'm delighted to say that the Leader of the House is probably going to help us out here. Leader of the House, further to that point of order.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I hear the honourable gentleman, and I will take this issue up with the Home Office. I know that they are very keen to get replies back, particularly on constituent issues that are very pressing and systems that have been under great strain. But I very much understand that the quality and timeliness of departmental correspondence is of immense importance to us all being able to carry out our jobs. I've already had conversations with the new Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster about how we can do continuous improvement on this. We take this very seriously, and I will raise the matter.
Well, I thank the Leader of the House for that very helpful response to the point of order, and I'm sure she will come back with further information, perhaps during one of the business statements. Thank you.